Hey, what's up, everybody? BDL44 coming at you with another video. All right, so the Lakers got that blowout victory I've been talking about. We needed against the Sacramento Kings in Sacramento tonight. No LeBron James because it's a health and safety protocols. Um, of course, no Kendrick Nunn, no Trevor Ariza, but we do have pretty much everybody else, and they were out there doing good things tonight. First half wasn't the best. I didn't see a whole lot of it because of the fact that I was working on a playlist, doing some other things. But um, I was able to kind of pick up on what was going on for the most part in that first half, which was a lot of turnovers, us doing more of the same, not really being our best. But what I did see from the highlights was that in the first half, we were able to get Anthony Davis close looks. Um, and that was very, very important in establishing what we were trying to do. Even though we were turning the ball over quite a bit, from what I understand, Russell Westbrook kind of had some of them early turnovers that I was telling you were going to be inevitable with whoever would be passing the ball tonight because of the presence of Davion Mitchell and a pretty solid defensive team that they've become, or that they're trying to become at this point. So they have some spirited defensive players that are going to force turnovers, and we saw some of that. But we did turn those turnovers down as the second half came about, as we turned our play all the way up in that second half. You know, the Lakers have to be given credit right now for turning a severe weakness into a massive strength in a very short period of time. Um, and those are the types of glimpses of greatness that you want to see in the presence of this struggling team, having all this talent that we have, but we can't seem to find a whole lot to celebrate. That is something that I see worth celebrating. We went from being a team that came out of the locker room getting blown out with no energy just about every night to now, say 4 or 5 games in a row, we've not only won third quarter, but we've been winning them substantially. Especially these last 2-3 games, we've really come out in the third quarter, led by Russell Westbrook and his energy, and we've just been attacking teams, making it a point to win those quarters substantially. So that's what we've done again tonight, and we carried that into the fourth quarter. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we scored over 60 points in the second half. We had a massive run to end the second quarter going into the locker room, if I'm not mistaken, although I didn't see that myself. But that run kind of carried us. You know, what I saw, what I was able to kind of see was really just our team playing a great team game. Um, Guys just passed the ball better for themselves in the second half. The turnovers were turned down, as I said, and they started to pass the ball a little better. What we saw was rebounding from Dwight Howard and active hands from Dwight Howard, which I thought was a big contributor to our success out there. We went to him and he gave us what we needed. We didn't go to DJ at all, and I don't think anybody was complaining about it. Quite honestly, since there's been so much complaints about how he's been playing, but if we can get one of those two centers to have a good game um, each night, we'll be all right. I don't care which one it is. Just one of y'all play well. Tonight it was Dwight Howard, so kudos to him for really being active. Um, Malik Monk was the guy that shined the most to me. I mean, he was just hitting shots. I mean, he had a 3-point shot that he shot damn near from the logo at the buzzer at the halftime. If I'm not mistaken, that was halftime, and he just, I mean, that thing didn't touch nothing but net. You know, it's so nice having a real shooter on this team. I think he hit like 5 threes tonight. That's a pure shooter, and what a luxury it is to have a guy like that on this team. Um, yeah, and you know, we made the right decision today. We benched THT because he had a 2-2-2 game, and that's just not good enough for what we needed him to be tonight. So I think Frank did a good job of recognizing that he wasn't giving us what we needed and going in a different direction. That's the kind of adjustments, the kind of cut and dry, no nonsense type of coaching that we need him to have in order for him to help us be a better team. Because I think he was giving a little bit too much rope to guys who weren't playing well, doing a little bit too much, allowing stuff to be as it was, and not enough adjusting and stopping the bleeding. And that's what I saw tonight, was more of that, adjusting and stopping the bleeding. So I just want to give kudos to this coaching staff tonight, because I think he coached probably his best game tonight for the Lakers this season. And as a result, we had a blowout, the very first blowout we've had all year long on the road in a situation where, you know, Sacramento was a bit more healthy than we saw them last time. Now, personally, I didn't see Harrison Barnes. I don't know if he played in the first half or not. I'm just clueless. I didn't see him out there. But Rashad Holmes not only played, but he was damn near perfect, and we were able to withstand that. So that was big for us. Russell Westbrook gave me exactly what I wanted from him, and he's been giving me that for the last 5 games. The games are piling up where he's been more and more of the Russie that I prefer and less of the Russie I don't. Now, like I said, I didn't get a chance to see all the turnovers that happened in the first half. So if there's something to complain about in that regard, I just wasn't able to see it. But what I can say is what I did see was good Russell Westbrook. Attacking the glass, attacking the paint, shooting his mid-range corner bank shot that he likes to take, and ultimately allowing all of those things to open up his passing lanes. And then we saw him give you the best version of himself as a facilitator in that second half. We saw a lot of that. He was getting lobs to our bigs. He was getting looks to our shooters. And that's the Russell Westbrook we're going to need him to be without LeBron James. And, I think I saw what I needed to see from him in terms of withstanding what I knew was coming, which would be turnovers, from forced turnovers from a decent defensive team, and him ultimately not allowing that to deter him from doing the things that he does. He didn't have a triple-double tonight, but I'm perfectly fine with that because he gave me over 26 points. So as long as he's scoring and getting into the paint and not shooting bad threes, we're rolling. And he's not being hesitant in taking the threes he should take, which is also something that's a positive for me. So, when a player is struggling with their shot and shooting poor percentages, I think it's very, very important that they find a balance between not taking shots they know they shouldn't take and still unconsciously letting the rhythm threes fly. I think that's an important attribute. I think that's something that you need to teach young basketball players is when you're struggling, taking bad shots is a bad thing, but not taking the shots you need to take is just as bad. And when you're struggling, you can slow the pace down of the game. You can slow the rhythm down of a play by hesitating. And I think we were doing a lot of that to start the season, particularly with Russell Westbrook and his struggles. And now he's not doing that. He's letting them fly when he should, and he's passing up the ones he shouldn't. So I think the shot selection is ultimately what's improved there. Anthony Davis, same thing. I saw him pass up a couple 3-point shots. Now, there was a play where he did pass up a rhythm 3-point shot. One of the ones that I'm referring to that I think he should let fly. But he put the ball on the floor and got himself an even better jump shot in that sequence. So, you definitely appreciate players just picking and choosing what shots they'll take. But I do believe letting those rhythm shots go is what's best most of the time. So, all in all, Anthony Davis played a good game. I didn't see his stats. I think his stats were pretty solid. Kind of similar to Russie, if my memory serves me correctly, somewhere in the 28 range. So that's perfectly fine. As long as those guys are scoring above 26 points apiece, I think we'll be good. Especially if we're getting 22 out of Malik Monk. I want to give Malik Monk credit for his playmaking as well. He had, I think, 4 assists. Very, very key plays that he was making for others. Dribble penetration, bounce passes, and various different looks that he would be able to create. And I think that's an underrated aspect of his game. He's a very solid IQ playmaker is what I'm starting to discover. And he really does make good plays for other people as well as for himself. And, of course, his natural ability to shoot just really helps us. What I also love about that player is that he's extremely athletic and bouncy, so he catches lobs. We saw situations where he was catching lobs in the fourth quarter. If a shooter is catching lobs in the fourth quarter, you definitely have an attribute, because what you understand about shooters is that their legs sometimes need to be, kept for the shot. You know what I mean? They need to be able to, keep some of that strength going for what it is that they're good at. But a guy like Malik Monk, he's going to always be good at basically getting his shot off because he's naturally athletic and getting off the ground. It's sort of like, I think about a guy like Zach LaVine. One of the reasons why Zach LaVine can hit like 7 threes a night is because his legs are never going to go. You know what I mean? He has extreme genetics in that regard to where, shooters need their legs, and a guy like that just jumps as easy as it is for me to talk. So, I look at Malik Monk and he has some of that in him as well. So his jump shot is going to continue to go. It's going to continue to be there for him. So I feel great about Malik Monk. Um, and I can't shake the notion, and this ain't got nothing to do with nothing, but this is just how I feel. I just can't shake the notion that he should be the guy getting that mid-level exception and not Kendrick Nunn, given the fact that Kendrick Nunn is not out there. And I just think that Malik Monk is a more talented player than Kendrick Nunn overall. He really is. And he'll prove that going forward. He'll get his money. But I'm just saying, like, even this season, going into this offseason, I actually would have felt very comfortable if we would have gave Malik Monk that mid-level exception. I would have been just fine with that. I think he's good enough for that. And he's proving that right now. So, yeah, man, it was good having all of our guys look good out there. Without LeBron James, they put up a good effort. And there's something that I'm going to say, and it's not a knock on our guy, the King James, but it's just something that I noticed tonight, and I think he'll notice it too in the film. We didn't miss his three-point shooting. We did not miss those empty possessions that come from him taking them long shots that are very difficult to rebound. I think when you eliminate those possessions and you insert the type of possessions we had tonight, where we were getting more shots from Malik, more shots for more opportunities for our playmakers to make plays for others. Carmelo Anthony was getting some decent looks down there as well. He exploited some mismatches that I love. But those were quality possessions that just don't simply take place when LeBron James walks the ball down and then jacks up a long three because his legs aren't there for him. You know what I mean? He shoots the three because his legs aren't there, because he doesn't want to drive at the basket continuously in December when he has to continue to play through June. I get it and I understand it, but for us, it's like you got to weigh that against how empty those possessions end up becoming for us when he's shooting that ball and it's not falling. And it caroms off the rim and ends up going into the hands of the defender for a fast break. I mean, those plays happen more than we like to give credit for. If I'm not mistaken, he was like 2 for 13 in the last game. I mean, that's losing basketball. So I think what we saw tonight was the absence of those possessions, and guys being careful to be of service to those possessions. It was like, because Bron ain't out there, we need to make these possessions count more so. And I thought guys were making a conservative effort to do good things offensively tonight. So that's another thing I want to say. Our offense looked good tonight. From what I saw in little spurts that I saw, it was more fluid, it was more ball movement, more people movement, and that's all I really ever asked for. And a lot of that had to do with us being able to get in transition. We've been doing a good job of getting out in transition lately. We've been lucky enough to play against Detroit and Sacramento, two teams that turn the ball over quite a bit. Sac did that tonight for us. And another thing that really worked in our favor was Sacramento shooting through the ball the way they did. They shot so very poorly. I think they were under 20-something%. And they attempted a lot of threes. So a lot of those threes were empty possessions that went into Laker favor. And of course, that's why we were able to blow them out. I think Alvin Gentry is going to have a hard time trying to get that young team to understand shot selection. We were seeing some of the shots they were taking. Buddy Hield was jacking up bad shots. Certain players just jacking up bad shots. Sacramento has a long way to go. They got a long way to go. But all in all, it was good for us to kind of go in there against a team like them and get a victory, a blowout victory at that. That's very, very important for our morale, for us to have that type of distance between us and that team, because we've just been playing too many close games. Too many. Now, unfortunately, in a blowout like tonight, we still had our starters on the floor in the fourth quarter, so that kind of defeats the purpose. But all in all, it's just good to see the score that way. I didn't check to see who the Lakers play next. I did not check. Hopefully it's not Phoenix or the Kings, or obviously it won't be Detroit, but I'm hopeful we'll see somebody new for a change. I just didn't check to see who it was. But, of course, we won't have LeBron James unless he's able to bring forth those test results that will be negative. So hopefully that he'll be able to do that, so we'll have him back out there for the next one. But, these type of things, you definitely don't count on that. So, it is what it is. But our team, we did good, man. We did good, especially in that second half. I mean, you talk about a team really taking advantage of another team on their home floor. it was enough to clap about. Honestly, I don't think we've had a night in several weeks, whether we won or lost, where I felt like the game was worth clapping over. This one was worth clapping over. They really put forth a good effort. They took advantage of a team that was struggling, um, and did what they needed to do to win the game. So I'm very pleased with that aspect of everything. Um, it was good seeing Reeves get back out there. I think he had like 5 boards. Those boards are quality. As a team who's been struggling on the rebounds, we needed some of those boards he was giving us. So that helped a lot. Bazemore got in the game late, hit a rainbow shot, and I'm telling you, those little things are the things that help a player like that get back into it. Because I've been listening a lot about players like Kemba Walker and Blake Griffin. They've been announcing that players are out of rotation. Some of these vets, and I'm like, that's scared, you guys, because some of these vets they're expecting to miss games at a time, but they're also expecting to be available in the playoffs. So it doesn't really matter what's going on in December, which is why I think it's just kind of embarrassing and useless to really report that stuff to us. But nevertheless, I look at a guy like Bazemore. He's in that lane in terms of a vet who's probably out of rotation at various points in the season, but all he needs to see is 1 or 2 of his shots fall, and suddenly he can be back in the rhythm again. So I'm hopeful that little minutes that we gave a guy like Bazemore, him seeing the ball fall like that can help him with the next minutes that's given to kind of be a more productive player, because we know Bazemore is better than he's been. And even though he's kind of facing father time like the rest of the squad, at the end of the day, he still has some attributes that we definitely need. So if he can get better as the season progresses, that will make us so much better of a team. So those are things I'm looking at, but it's just like anything else. We're not going to get consistency. Some of the guys who played great tonight, they're not going to play great tomorrow. I don't expect THT to have a 2-2-2 game. In fact, I'd be more inclined to believe THT will probably go for 25 in the next game, because that's just how inconsistent he's been. So if anything, you just appreciate that the stars are trying to establish some consistency with one another. And that's what we saw tonight. Anthony Davis, Russell Westbrook played very well with one another, off of one another. Carmelo Anthony chipped in quite a bit. Dwight Howard chipped in quite a bit. So we got what we needed to get that big victory, albeit against a bad team. But hey, we're a bad team, so we'll take them as we can get them. So yeah, that's what I got, man. That's what I got. It feels good to not have a whole lot to complain about. Obviously, with a victory like this, you definitely don't want to point out too many weaknesses, but fortunately enough, it wasn't too many for me to really think about tonight. They didn't really mess up too bad. We shot about 70% from the free throw line. That's okay. We like to shoot better. I think we were like 39% from 3. That's ideal for us. And believe it or not, if we're shooting 40% from the 3-point line as a Laker team, shoot, that's enough to clap about for us. So we're happy about that. And just quality shots, quality offense, quality 3-point shooting. Kind of a recipe for how we want our team to play. We're not going to be able to get this type of success defensively, because teams aren't going to turn the ball over like that every night. But we are happy that we were in position to take advantage of those turnovers. And also why we won. So a lot to like tonight. Finally a reason to be happy, Laker fans. Because it ain't been a whole lot. So we'll see what happens with LeBron James. Of course, I'll get you back to you guys when I find out whatever there is to find out in regards to those tests. So yeah, that's what I got, man. Lakers win. BDF 44. Thank you for watching. Oh, before I go, I always want to give credit to the other team. They just struggled really bad tonight, so it's hard to do that. But I want to give credit to the Chezi Metu. I don't know how to say his name properly, but he's popped off the screen like crazy tonight. That dude got a future in this league. He's a very, very good big. Popped off the screen. I'm telling you, he was jumping all over the place, dunking and all that. Also, Davion Mitchell rolled his ankle, stepping on the referees, just a fluky kind of play. He did come back into the game. I'm hopeful he'll be all right. Also, that Devin Booker got hurt tonight too. That's a pretty big deal. Phoenix is an excellent team right now. So health. I'm hopeful for great health for all of you guys, all the athletes out there. So yeah, that's what I got, man. My name is BDF44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.